Future Proof is sponsored by Equipping Young Adults for Life, inspiring student resilience, championing hope.
Hello and welcome back from the break. Thank you so much for joining me, Sarah Hopwood, as I continue these programs, and I'm still covering negative mindsets, and the one that I was covering today that you would have seen in the first half is a negative mindset where we say I want someone else to do it for me. And I talked about the importance of not robbing yourself of a journey, and what is tied up with this is if we get somebody else to do a job that actually is really supposed to be ours, we rob ourselves of the journey of actually the trials and error, the pain, the tripping, the falling and the achieving. But in a way worse than that, we actually end up, if we do get someone else to do a job for us that we're supposed to do, we don't feel worthy of collecting the reward. There is something in our subconscious, in our psyche, that says, I didn't deserve that. And although the short-term fix is maybe we think we've won, maybe think we've done well, but the long-term effects are usually that for one reason or another, you will push it away. So if it's a job that or recognition for something that you've done that you didn't really do, in some way or another, you will sabotage that reward, either by, I don't know, giving something away, pushing it away, snubbing any congratulations, maybe being off with somebody who you might feel guilty about. So you are appearing to be, as I say, disengaging with them and off with them, where in fact you're just feeling guilty because you feel as if they were the ones that should have had the recognition rather than you. So there's all sorts of human behaviour tied up here. We all trip and fall, we all make mistakes, so it's not a matter of beating ourselves up. All it is recognising there are negative mindsets that don't serve us, and one of them is where we look for someone else to do something for us when really it is our monkey, it is our job to do it. As kids, when we had kids here, I'll never forget, we had to suddenly think of the monkey scenario, and bedroom lights and being left on all the time, or wet towels on the floor, and for a long time I would call down and just say, hey, you've left the towel on the floor, don't worry, I'll pick it up. And of course all the time I did that, the towels kept being left on the floor, so in the end we called them monkeys, and the kids would shout up and go, well, as you're up there, can you do it? And we would just say, no, this is your monkey, you come up and do it. And of course that pattern of behaviour stopped them from then putting the towels on the floor, because they knew that they would have to then come back and sort it all out. So there's a lot tied up to it. But in the second half, I want to look at what happens if it's not you not doing a job that has your name on it. It's other people coming to you wanting you to do the job that has their name on it. And Stephen Covey calls it completed work. So I'm going to use an office situation to explain this, but this can happen in any situation. Obviously at home, a holiday situation, it can happen at any time. And please know I'm not saying we should not be compassionate and loving and empathic towards other people. So it's not about creating a hard heart at all. But equally, we're not all, if you like, rollovers, and we've got to watch for allowing patterns of behaviour to become established in a relationship that are not healthy for either person. And the office situation, Stephen Covey talks about completed work. So if we have a professional service firm situation, scenario. So imagine, let's say, an accountant and a partner, and this partner has a team of people behind them, and they know there are some people who do their work very well straight away, and there are others that don't, and there are others that might rely on any small mistakes or what have you to be corrected higher up the food chain. And sometimes there's very good reason for that as well. I have heard it many times before where members of staff have done their work so well and complete and thoroughly, and then somewhere higher up the food chain, it's not that there was anything wrong with their work, but their work was tweaked anyway. And so if we're not careful, we can then create a culture of why should I bother, because you're going to change it anyway. So leaders have to be very, very careful about empowering people and then trumping them. So the guidance, if you like, and the format of what is needed and the delegation process, whatever, that process has to be so healthily written and covered so that members of staff don't feel demotivated because they feel no matter how good they are, it's going to be trumped anyway. But let's go back to the other scenario where we've got somebody who knows it's their monkey. They don't have anybody trumping their work normally, but they have a slight laziness, if that's the right thing, or maybe they're on a learning curve, just a lack of confidence, or maybe in ignorance they just didn't realise how serious or how responsible they were. And Stephen Covey, and imagine this is a piece of work that a member of staff has done, and they are then presenting it to, let's say, the partner in this firm to say, I have done what you've asked me to do. Now, the first thing Stephen Covey says is do not touch it. Do not engage with it. So I've actually played it on the stage before, where you come in with this completed work, pop it on the table, and then the partner does not touch it. So so that work is supposedly complete, and the partner in their heads are keeping their hands behind their back. And the question is are you pleased with this piece of work that you've done? And the person, if they've not done it quite, they go, yeah, it's good. And you can go, so do you believe that is 100% your best? Well, yeah, there might be some, in this kind of, you can see them shifting, and there's something there that is saying, I know it's not quite as I would want it, or have you. And they might even say, just let me know if there's anything that needs changing. And the partner will not engage with it. They do not touch it. So all the time it's on the table, the monkey, this work still belongs to the person who's presented it. So as long as you don't touch or engage with it, it is still not yours. The monkey remains with the person who's brought it in the room. And so then the partner can say, well, how long do you think it will take you to get it to 100% of your own satisfaction? And the person might stutter and not be quite sure, what do you mean? And say, well, it clearly isn't quite right. So if you'd like to take it away again, when can you get it back to me? And eventually there'll be some agreement and negotiation, but you get the person themselves to say when they can get it back. And it might be tomorrow morning or by the close of business on Friday. I don't know what it is. So the person obviously then picks it up and takes it back. So the partner has not touched this at all. They've not engaged with it at all. The point Covey makes is when the member of staff takes it away and comes back again, in their heads they're now holding this piece of work as if it's on a silver salver. They're holding it with much more care. They're holding it with much more pride, because they now know they have done a fantastic job. So rather than chuck it on the table, they'll probably want to hand it, and often maybe turn it round and hand it so it's legible to the person in front that they're handing it to, and they put it down with care. Why? Because they are so pleased with the work that they've done, and they have their job satisfaction and their pride. The partner, still not touching it, then says, is this how you want it? And of course the person smiling now going, yes. Are you pleased with it? Are there any improvements that could be made on it? And this time, because the member of staff knows they're going to be sent away again, also the questioning is holding the member of staff accountable for the quality of the work that they're presenting. And then the partner can say, thank you very much, and then take it. And there you get a massive, massive win-win. The member of staff is very, very happy with their work. Next time they will not walk towards anybody presenting them with second-rate work. They are the ones doing the job which they are responsible for, so they're not asking someone else to do it for them. They're taking responsibility, and the partner gets the work that he was expecting, and if there are any tweaks, they can do it with much better, I should say, compassion and understanding, hopefully, and the business wins, because less time now is spent on future work, because there are fewer mistakes which cost less employable hours, and obviously less from even electricity, if you like, printing, whatever you want to call it. So I commend to you, make sure that if you are responsible for a job, that you don't try and delegate it, that you do the job that has your name on it. And if somebody tries to come towards you with a job that has their name on it, then use the monkey scenario. Call it a monkey and say, this is your monkey, it's not my monkey, so therefore it's for you to sort out. You might advise from a distance. I'm not saying about being lacking compassion. I'm not saying that at all. It's about a disciplined mind bringing about good results that's good for business and also good for our overall mental health. So I commend it all to you. Take care now.